Alex had recently cleared his exam and had come to Medical College, New York, to fulfill his dream of becoming a doctor. He was staying in the hostel. He had no family, no mother, no father, and no siblings. Everyone in the hostel knew this. Knowing that he had no one to back him up, many of his seniors took advantage of him, especially Mark and Andrew. He was very innocent, which is why he couldn't stand up for himself. On top of that, he was battling heart disease at such a young age. Alex was enduring all this because of his studies. But one day, something happened to him that no one could even imagine in their dreams. Mark and Andrew told Alex to go to the graveyard at midnight. They said that Alex had to go all the way inside and take a picture there so that they would believe he had actually gone in. Hearing this, Alex was shocked. He clearly refused to go. But they told him that if he didn't obey, they would frame him for cheating and get him expelled from the college forever. Alex was passionate about medicine, so hearing this terrified him, and he reluctantly agreed. As soon as he entered the graveyard, he heard someone screaming. Alex thought it was just his imagination and ignored it, moving forward. But then more sounds started coming from ahead. It felt to him as if his heart would stop at any moment. He wanted to turn back, but the fear of Mark and Andrew forced him to keep going. Suddenly, Alex felt that someone was following him. He turned around, but there was no one. Then he heard a voice that shook him to his core. "You cannot leave this place." In front of his eyes stood a girl with a terrifying face. Meanwhile, Mark and Andrew had been waiting for Alex for a long time. An hour passed, but Alex didn't return. So they decided to go inside and check. Inside, they found Alex in extreme pain and distress. But here's the twist. The terrifying girl was standing right there, and no one was scared of her. That's because Mark and Andrew had actually hired her to scare Alex. Somehow, they managed to bring Alex back to the hostel. The girl was extremely worried that their prank might have gone too far, and that Alex could have been seriously harmed. But they breathed a sigh of relief when Alex finally opened his eyes. He didn't say anything though, and went straight to his room. And the next day, Alex went up to Mark and Andrew and told them that now he would give them a challenge. And they laughed it off at first, thinking it was a joke. But Alex said that if they truly weren't afraid of anything, they would have to complete his challenge and prove it. Hearing this, Mark got very excited and said that he would take on the challenge before Andrew. Alex said that in the same graveyard he had gone to yesterday, there were the graves of two sisters, Grace and Emma, who had died in their own home. Their house is located right in front of the graveyard. He told Mark that he would have to spend one night in that house. Hearing this, Mark started mocking him, saying that he wasn't afraid of any of it. Alex then warned him that the spirits of the two sisters still lingered in the house, and anyone who once entered it could never return alive. Knowing the truth about Grace and Emma, Mark was scared, but he didn't want to prove himself a coward, so he agreed. Andrew, meanwhile, secretly thought that after Mark went in, he would find some excuse to back out of the challenge. But nobody knew what fate had in store. One night passed, but Mark didn't return. Andrew tried calling him many times, but Mark didn't answer. Another night went by, yet there was still no sign of Mark. Now Andrew couldn't wait any longer. He started to fear that something might have really happened to Mark. So he set out toward the terrifying house. And as soon as he arrived, he saw Alex sitting there. In anger, Andrew asked about his friend, but Alex didn't say anything. He just gestured for him to go inside. Before Andrew could think of anything else, he heard Mark scream from inside. He immediately ran toward the house, but seeing its condition, he became extremely frightened. Suddenly, he heard a girl's voice. "Who's there? Who's there?" Andrew introduced himself, saying his name was Andrew and that he had come to find his friend. But no one answered from ahead. Andrew realized that he was trapped. The house looked at least 10 to 20 years old, abandoned and in complete disrepair. As he moved further inside, he saw bloody handprints on the walls. He wanted to run away from the house, but he couldn't leave Mark alone. Then, once again, he heard a girl's voice. "Who's there? Who's there?" Andrew looked around, but there was no one. He immediately tried to run, but the door of the house closed on its own. Andrew tried everything to open it, but he failed. At that moment, he heard Mark screaming from the room upstairs. He ran up and the sight was horrifying. Mark was laying there, drenched in blood. When Andrew checked, he realized that Mark was dead. As he tried to escape, Mark grabbed his hand and said, "You should not have come here. Anyone who enters this house once can never return. The two sisters won't spare anyone." Somehow, Andrew managed to escape the room, but someone kept calling him loudly over and over. "Who's there? Who's there?" As he turned to look, two girls with terrifying faces were standing there. Seeing them, Andrew's heart started pounding violently. Somehow, mustering his courage, he tried to run away. Then he saw Alex standing below. He felt a huge sense of relief. He ran toward Alex and apologized for everything. He said that he knew he had tormented Alex a lot in his life, and that was why all this was happening to him. He admitted that he shouldn't have played the graveyard prank with Alex and pleaded with him to get him out of there. Then, what Alex said made Andrew completely shocked. Alex revealed that he had actually died the moment he saw that fake witch. A prank had almost taken his life. Terrified, Andrew asked Alex how he knew about the house. Alex explained that the two girls who had died in the house were his real sisters. He told him that 10 years ago, his father had bought this house and the family had moved in. They were very happy because for the first time in their lives, they had their own home and they wanted to spend their lives there with joy and laughter. At that time, Alex was only 10 years old. After their mother passed away, Grace and Emma had given him the love of a mother. But one day, Alex and his father went out for some work, leaving Grace and Emma alone at home. Suddenly, the news came on TV that a psycho killer was roaming around with a huge, terrifying knife, and no one should open their door to strangers. Hearing this, Grace and Emma were extremely scared and locked themselves in a room. Just then, the electricity in the house went out. They were trying to calm themselves down when the front door started knocking. They thought that maybe their father and Alex had returned. Trembling with fear, Grace slowly went toward the door. "Who's there? Who's there?" No matter how many times she asked, there was no answer. Then the door opened, and outside stood the psycho killer. In that very moment, he killed Grace with his knife. As Grace died, she left the marks of her hands on the walls of the house forever. As soon as Emma heard Grace's scream, she ran toward the door. Seeing her beloved sister in such a state, Emma also collapsed and died on the spot. Their father couldn't bear the shock and also passed away, leaving Alex completely alone in the world. He left the city forever, but many years later, he had to return to pursue his dream of becoming a doctor. He tried his best, but he couldn't get admission anywhere else. Perhaps it was his fate. Now, when someone tried to take advantage of him one last time, his two sisters stood by his side. Hearing all this, Andrew was terrified. He realized his mistake, but it was already too late. Now, it was only time for justice. Who's there? Who's there?